Can't believe I'm saying this. 0-0. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. In a week where we've seen Tottenham go and grab victory from the jaws of defeat. We've seen Man United go and get a 93rd minute winner that was, could have been given for offside. And here we have Arsenal just, these are teams I'm talking about pulling out the 3 points when you really think that's it, they've dropped it, they've wasted an opportunity. And then Arsenal, my God, talking of wasted opportunities. I can't believe that performance that we put out today. Shocking, just really, really uninspiring. I'm so frustrated by it. We're seeing our rivals for that top 4 spot going in, just grinding out results, getting the business done. And Arsenal, I'm really, really frustrated by today. And I look at it and I think to myself, it was obviously not a good team performance. And when you go player by player and you say, all right, which one player today can really turn around and say, do you know what, I was brilliant, I gave my man hell, I had a standout performance. That's what you need. When your team doesn't play well, you need an individual. Clearly you can't rely on individuals all the time, and that's why it needs to be a good team performance more often than not. But on days like today, you need one person to kind of make the difference. But you look at our team and you think, who can say that? Who can really say, I was brilliant today? Not a single person. And when I'm saying this, I'm not really saying it about the back line or the keeper or even Laca, for example. They didn't really have the opportunity to have a spectacular performance because we dominated the game as you'd expect and as we should against a team in Burnley who haven't won a game in God knows how long, who are bottom of the league, and we're at home, winless in 2022. The onus is all on us. So of course we're going to have that possession. But Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Odegaard, Laca, which one of those can really turn around and say, no, I was brilliant, I laid on 4 chances, or I beat my man continuously? It just, simply wasn't good enough. And I'm really, really frustrated by it, man. Tell me in the comments below, with this result, is that our top 4 chance gone? Realistically, obviously I know there's a lot of games to play, but the way I saw it was that we needed to win all of these types of games and then make sure that when we play Tottenham, when we play United, we avoid defeat and see if we can sneak some wins out of that. So do you think today we have basically lost our chance at really going and getting that top 4? Since the turn of the year, listen to this, since the turn of the year, 5 games, 1 goal, 3 draws, 2 defeats, 3 red cards. That's awful. Can you believe we've had more red cards than we've had goals since 2022? These guys are obviously still hungover from their flipping New Year's Eve parties because this is simply not good enough. And let's talk about the nuts and bolts of the game today. Let's talk about what actually happened out there. First half, we were a little bit better in the second half, but the first half was wasted. We might as well have turned up at 3:45 today because it was awful. I'm really, really fed up of seeing that sort of football where we're playing into Burnley's hands. We know exactly what they're going to do, but how many times did we have any player, and I'm looking at Lacazette on this, and I'll come to him, but any player running beyond the Burnley back line and saying, find me with a pass, give them something to think about? Nothing. There was none of that. Everything that we did was at a slow pace in front of Burnley, especially in the first half. That was the story of that half. It was a case of play a pass and watch the person receive the ball instead of passing and moving. Where were the 1-2s? I think we had one decent move in that game, in that first half, where Odegaard had a shot. Really good move. It's that type of one-touch passing and movement that I'm looking for. It was non-existent, man. And this is Burnley, for God's sake. I'm really, really frustrated at. You look at the possession that we had, and what did really we convert that into? I'm really actually curious to see what our expected goals were today, because given the possession that we had, our conversion into chances was really abysmal, unbelievably poor. If anyone's watching this and they've seen that stat for expected goals today, put it in the comments below, please, because, it's got to be better than that. Let's talk about Lacazette. Lacazette basically is a midfielder now. And do you know what? There's so much about his game that I enjoy, that I like. His pressing, his work rate, blah, 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 all of that sort of stuff. But he's a striker. There's so many strikers that they say that they get instructions from their manager to stay between the 18-yard lines. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Those 18-yard lines. That's where a player needs to play his football, throughout the whole length of that pitch. Don't get dragged out wide. Don't crowd your wingers. Make sure that you're there. So if a chance comes, you're in a goal-scoring position. The fact of the matter is, Lacazette, the amount of times he drifts out to the wings, if you get the ball there, you're not going to score. And then who's in there? And I don't want to get on Lacazette's case. Obviously we are where we are because of Aubameyang not being an option to play. And honestly, Aubameyang is exactly what we would have needed today. A player that knows how to get into the space when the ball's there to be tapped in. And Lacazette's just not that guy, man. And then I look at Odegaard, for example. He's another player that I thought, look, he's very, very tidy. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not getting on his case. He played well against Liverpool. He even played well today. One pass in particular, brilliant pass from him. And the thing is, I think to myself, even with him, I need to see more. I need to see you do more than just that one brilliant pass. There's got to be better moments. Emil Smith-Rowe, he's someone I love, but you've got an incredible shot in your locker. Get a shot or two off. How many times have you, from the outside of the box, gone and done that? We had a couple of chances in the game, but nowhere near enough. And actually, do you know what? I often forget to do this with opposition, but not today. I'm going to give Burnley a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of credit. Yeah, they took their time on throw-ins and goal kicks and all that sort of stuff, but, if people are complaining about that, then you're missing the point. No team tries to waste time if you're leading if they're losing at half time. If Arsenal did our job, Burnley are not wasting time. So we cannot be using that as an excuse. Arsenal failed to do their job, and we let Burnley do all of that and employ all of those tactics. And they defended brilliantly. They were so resolute. I saw Sean Dyche constantly telling Peters, their left back, tuck in, tuck in, tuck in. All he cared about was them not getting in behind us. He did not want a gap between his centre half and his wing back. And they did that. They just had a tight line, low block, and they were playing quite central. Saka and Martinelli got the ball over and over again, but they backed themselves to deal with anything that came into the box, and they did that. Burnley deserve a lot of credit because they weren't overly dirty, they weren't overly physical. The time wasting, it wasn't even as bad as I've seen, to be honest with you. They didn't get any yellow cards, time wasting. They weren't even sort of, when they got the ball at the end of the game and they were countering, they weren't running into corners. They didn't just think, we'll just take the draw. They were trying to get shots off, put the ball into the box. They did really well today, and they deserve a lot of credit, but equally Arsenal deserve a lot of criticism. And let me just say this, I'm going to end with this. This 2-year contract extension we're talking about for Mikel Arteta, hold on a second. Let's see what this team does in the business end of the season. And then let's decide whether he deserves a contract extension, because we haven't achieved anything yet. Yes, there's been a slight improvement. Days like today, though, they make you think, maybe we're not there yet in terms of where we thought we were as a team. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and hopefully after that game, we'll have our first win of 2022.